Welcome to Builder Nation's Procurement Edition. We are exploring now how hardware startups tackle the essentials of procurement, from sourcing components to managing supply chain and controlling costs. Keep watching to hear real-world strategies from industry leaders on overcoming procurement challenges to bring impactful products to market faster. Today, we are joined by Yariv Reches, co-founder and COO at Hyperfood Robotics. Welcome, Yariv. Thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
So, to start with this, present yourselves, tell us something about you, about your work.
Okay, so I'm in the industry for the last 25 years, I would say, the high-tech industry in Israel and globally. Used to initiate companies, build them, make products, sell the products, and later on either sell the company or M&A and work in a bigger company. Usually, because my background is industrial and management engineering, it's a lot about supply chain and manufacturing. Beside all the business side, it's all about building product from the bottom. And I initiate a few companies. I would say that almost most of them, it was hardware. So it was to build physical products, to get the components, build products, ship them, then support them, etc. Some of them being software companies as well. These days, in the last 5 years, I'm in Hyperfood Robotics. It's heavy-duty operations and mechanical, hardware, and of course software type of products. So there's a lot to do with the supply chain.
What do you think are the key difference between the big companies and the startups in procurement? What do you think are their differences?
Yeah, there are differences. Big companies, they have established product that runs for a long time. So all the bill of materials and the supplier relationship, everything in place. And it's basically to take like a serial number or a catalog number and to find who is the best source for that. With startup, it's a bit different because the engineers, the developers are eager to use a certain part, but when you try to source it, you see that the lead time doesn't fit the roadmap of the startup. So you need to find a replacement. The engineer needs to do modifications. And so it's a bit slow, this process. Talking to sourcing the part, it's pretty much the same. Although when you talk with the supplier loves to talk with big companies, less with startups, because they are less stable, they are less, they can ask for samples and or something like that. But I think in the end of the day, it's pretty much the same. And in startups, you have to be more flexible, more elastic. Mm-hmm. And in big companies, it's like a machine. You get an order from end customer, the ERP break it down, and you see what are the demands, and you place the order to suppliers. It's pretty much determinist processes.
And now that jumping directly to Hyper, you are also apart from the manage the supply chain and procurement, you are also the co-founder. So can you walk us through Hyper journey in building the first product? How did procurement play a role in that?
Yeah, so we build in Hyper autonomous fast food robotic platforms. There are about 20 robots with 7 axes. It's more than 100 servo motors and many sensors, many cameras, and it's all about food, making food. So all the robots and machinery needs to be food grade. So we took the concept and from the concept, we break it down to engineering, and we find out, first of all, if it's all accessible and we can get the parts in time. As I mentioned before, sometimes the engineers want a specific part, but it's now 18 weeks lead time, and you cannot afford it. So we got the product, we got the bill of materials, we start to apply to suppliers. We got the feedback. If there was some problems with lead times, we changed the part to something more common. Of course, we try to keep it commonality. Means that if there's a motor somewhere, we want to use the same motor everywhere. So we don't, the bill of material, it's not 10,000 parts, it's only, 5,000 parts. So commonality, it's very important. It makes the supply chain easier later on, all the purchasing. And I think in startup and in Hyper, when we build that, I put very much attention on who are the suppliers, because in the end of the day, you need a service. After you buy something, the service is very important because it's integration and it's R&D process. Mm-hmm. So if there's a problem with something, you want the supplier to support it, and not someone that you write email and there's no answer for a week. You need something that you can grab the telephone and make a very short call and solve the problem.
Yeah, and I think that you also need to find the good suppliers. As you said, you need someone that doesn't take 1 week to reply or 1 week to take to make have a solution for something that you really need at that moment.
Exactly, and I think it's mainly in startups you need this support. It's everywhere, but I think this is when you choose a supplier, and I emphasize it to my team, that it's very easy. You can buy anything in Amazon, eBay, or just Google it and find the supplier somewhere. But in the end of the day, you need the support, you need service. So please buy the parts from those who can provide the service.
What are you think are the most significant challenges that you have to face, or maybe a huge decision do you have to take in all this time with Hyper at the procurement or supply chain?
So it's either to choose between a very good part to an excellent part. While the lead times are usually for the excellent part, it's much longer.
Yeah.
This is number one. Number two, it was to choose between. I'm talking about a critical parts, not just a screw or a plastic part. And also a big challenge was to decide what quantity to buy. Okay, because usually when you build a prototype, so you say, I need only one, I need only 2 or 3, but the price for 10 or for 100, it's much better.
Yeah.
Why don't I buy a bigger quantity and get a better price? And then you have to choose to think with your team if it would be a part that will be replaced later on the next version, or if this part will be remain and we will use the majority of the quantity. So that kind of decisions or challenges, I would say, because in the end of the day you have a budget, and you cannot you have a budget, and you don't want to buy one, because if it's going to break or burn or something, you want to have on the shelf in the warehouse a replacement immediately. So you won't buy one, you buy few. But if you buy few, why don't buy a little bit more? But there is a budget constraint. So it's all this juggling, between budget and necessity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And you have to balance what you need most, or maybe what you have to have a backup or something. Yeah, I think it is really complicated sometimes to take that decisions.
Correct. correct. Exactly like that.
Yeah, so now that we are talking about how to manage this, do you have any specific tool or, I don't know, platform or something that you use to control the costs without slowing the team down, maybe?
So always you start, with the design software, always extrude or the output for the bill of material. Usually it's a spreadsheet, so you use a spreadsheet. You have to be a professional on spreadsheet to do, all these lookup tables and pivot tables, etc., etc. It's not just make a simple chart. You have to be an expert. Then I think in early stage, I love, and this is in my background, one of where I studied a lot. It's all the databases and ERP systems. So I think it's very important to use ERP system. And there are so many different solutions, but you must use one. Get all your parts in databases. So the parts, the suppliers, the customers, of course. Also the financials go there. And so it's very easy to do screening, monitoring, controlling. Not only the inventory, but also the purchasing and supplier relations, etc., etc. So I won't recommend on a specific tool, just about, spreadsheet, which can be, Microsoft or Google or any other free tool you can find for a spreadsheet. But as soon as you have the first bill of material, put it on a ERP system. Any kind of ERP system. It can be for a small business ERP that you can have all the information in one place, and everybody can look and work from a kind of a mainframe.
Yeah, that's totally true. And to finish with this interview, what do you think are the most common procurement pitfalls that startups or a company in general needs to avoid?
To work from instinct, don't use your instinct. Use like a good information. Think of what to do, and don't walk like a cowboy, like shooting from your shotgun. But think before you act. Okay, different. From aim and plan, I would say it's exactly the opposite. Plan and act. Mm-hmm. Okay, a planning it's a crucial phase or stage in any procurement job you're going to do, because in the end of the day it's affect the whole organization. Either it's a startup of 2 people or organization of 20,000 people. Okay, if you make a mistake, then the company get affected dramatically.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think that it's a really good advice for everybody that is starting a company, or they already have one, but they need to figure it out how this works or how to manage it. So thanks, Yariv, for being here and share all your knowledge with us. It was really good to hear you and to learn also from you. You have any social media or website that you want to share?
Yeah, yes, I have. People can look on my LinkedIn, under Yariv Reches, and see my experience. They can talk with me. They can send me message. I would love, to give advice and to talk with people that are facing, any challenges or they have questions of anything related to that, to build a company, build the products, do the right first steps on procurement and supply chain.
Yeah, perfect. And for everybody that is watching, be sure to visit our website, buildernation.io. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn by following Builder Nation for the latest updates and exclusive content. Thank you all for being part of this amazing community. We will see you in the next episode. And thanks again to Yariv for being with us today.
Thank you very much.